his own pet project called Confessions of a Dangerous Mind. Nonetheless, as Dan Rather discovered, there are still situations George can't control, some who stubbornly refuse to succumb to his charms.
Come on, Max. Max, come on.
On this day, George Clooney's appeal is completely lost on his sleeping 200-pound pig, Max.
Usually he sleeps on the foot of my bed, but he's gotten so fat in the last year.
I wouldn't think a pig sleeping at the foot of your bed would help you with the ladies all that much.
No, it really doesn't help a lot. It's not good. It's not. But you know, he's my longest relationship.
Well, this is actually a great place.
He has a beautiful home in Hollywood that stretches over several secluded acres.
Yeah, it's 3 acres out here. And the thing that's great is it backs up into a park.
With its own tennis court, guest house, swimming pool, and antique motorcycles. There's plenty to keep Clooney busy. It is the kind of life most Americans can only dream about.
I have money. You know, I have a nice house. I have a house. It's a nice place here. I got a great place in Italy.
Place paid for?
I paid cash, because actors, you always think, this is my last job, so I bought it. It was cheap, actually.
So you have no house payments?
I have no house payments.
His house may be paid for, but he lives there alone, except for his pig and 2 bulldogs.
Bud, there, and Lou, Abbott and Costello. Lou over there, he walks into trees and things. He's not the brightest.
Clooney says his close circle of friends and his family keep him sane.
Are you, quote, Hollywood, or are you something apart?
You know, I don't know. There's certain Midwestern sensibilities, you know. Although I have been thinking about shoplifting a lot lately. But, you know, I don't know that I'm part of the Hollywood community necessarily.
I'm looking around because I want to make sure you don't have anything that you can throw at me.
Right, uh-oh, okay.
But I want to be in trouble if I don't ask you. Mm-hmm. What happens with your social life? I mean, do you have women constantly calling you saying, I'd like to come over, I'd like to bring you dinner tonight?
Bring you dinner?
Go out? I mean,
yeah, you know, my
tell
mother.
me about that.
No, it's different. It's funnier than you'd think, you know. It's not quite, I think, what people think. When you are in the position that I'm in, there are women that approach you all the time, people in general that approach you, but they're not, but you have no personal connection to that. You know, that's very interesting for the first 6 months of being famous, when a bunch of girls, you know, show up. And then it becomes embarrassing. It's embarrassing, you know. It's embarrassing to walk into a place and have somebody make a scene about you. You can't help but be embarrassed if you have any sort of modicum of decency. It's just like, you're embarrassed by it.
If George Clooney takes all this in stride, it's because he understands show business in a way most people don't.
We're in the money. Come on, my honey.
He grew up watching his aunt, Rosemary Clooney, a singer and actress who appeared in classic films like White Christmas.
When she was 21 years old, 22, 23 years old, she was the biggest thing, you know, cover of Life magazine and singing, and everybody loved her. And rock and roll comes around. All women singers are gone. Suddenly they start telling her how bad she is at what she did. So she went through a very bad period of time of hating herself, drugs, you know, lost all her money. So by example, she was a great lesson to me about how to deal with fame, which there is no handbook for.
Rosemary Clooney's rise and fall and ultimate recovery became a cautionary tale for her nephew. The lesson?
You have to have control, because if you leave it up to other people, at the end of the day, it will fall apart. And I would rather, when it falls apart, it be in my hands and not in someone else's.
Ready? Yep. And action!
That's why he has moved into directing.
Okay, now, very good. Here's the only other thing I would do.
Here, he's working on the set of his new film, Confessions of a Dangerous Mind, where he co-stars and calls the shots.
So it's like, it seems a little like weird and awkward, you know.
Directing scared me, you know, to do it. Much scarier.
Wait a second, the great George Clooney was scared?
Oh yeah, I'm always scared. But I operate better there.
The film is a complex, dark comedy about Chuck Barris, the creator of popular game shows like The Dating Game and The Newlywed Game.
My name is Charles Hirsch Barris. pop songs. I've been a television producer. In addition, I have murdered 33 human beings.
Barris's life took a bizarre twist 20 years ago when he wrote his autobiography, claiming that while he was making millions in junk TV, he was secretly bumping off bad guys as a hired assassin working for the CIA.
You notice, Jim, I got a TV show on there. I don't need to kill people for hire anymore.
Think of it as a hobby, something you do to relax. You can be an assassination enthusiast. This was a great script, and I wanted it to get made, and it seemed like the only way that it was going to get made was if I sort of picked it up and shoved it over the wall. So I did it.
George Clooney has been on TV since he was a little boy. That's him with his sister on the set of a show hosted by his father. Nick Clooney has had a long broadcasting career. 30 years ago, he hosted a network TV game show called The Money Maze.
But there was a big maze, and the husband would run through it, and the wife would stand above it and go left, go right.
Left, right, no, back, come back, Ellis.
And there was a real innocence to it, you know, it was really fun. So I wanted to capture that again.
For Clooney, Confessions of a Dangerous Mind is a movie about the loss of that innocence, about what happens when one man realizes his life and his work haven't added up to much.
Do you have a fear of winding up that way?
Sure. I mean, we have those fears of not counting somehow, you know, not really mattering, or not really making a difference one way or the other. And you know, I've been a part of really bad television before. I know what it's like to be. I've been in some really bad films, and I've been really bad in them, and I know what that feels like. And so you spend a lot of time, I think, making up for that, or trying to make up for that.
Here you go, Dr. Ross.
Thank you, Nance.
We may remember George Clooney best for his role as a womanizing doctor on television's ER.
Just trying to be friendly.
I've got all the friends I need, thanks.
Or for his work on films like Ocean's 11.
When that perfect hand comes along, you bet big, and then you take the house.
Been practicing this speech, haven't
A
you?
little bit. Did I rush it? Felt like I rushed it.
No, it was good. I liked it.
Or Oh Brother, Where Art Thou? But Clooney can't forget his more spectacular failures.
What's the worst film you've ever made, in your judgment?
Well, I've done a few bad ones. It's tough. I'm in one of the more celebrated bad films called Return of the Killer Tomatoes.
I missed that one.
I don't know how. I don't know how you missed it. I say lines like,
That was the bravest thing I've ever seen a vegetable do.
and with a straight face.
Clooney loves to laugh at himself and others. He has a reputation as a world-class practical joker who's left a long trail of victims.
You're famous or infamous, depending on one's point of view, for having a sense of humor, fairly wicked sense of humor. Does that take place on the set?
It takes place in my life. My friends are funnier and rottener than I am.
Give me an example of the kind of prank that you like to play on the set.
Oh, I don't know. Boy, we do so many. You know, I get bumper stickers and stick them on people's cars, you know. Say, so many men, so little time on the back of somebody's car, you know, and watch them drive away. And
You're not telling me that I'm going to have a bumper sticker on my car.
I would just say check on the way out. Just check. Look down and check that thing that goes around your license plate, too, because that's always a good one.
George Clooney has laughed all the way to the bank, particularly now. With good reviews for his new movie, there's a recognition that Clooney has become a real creative force.
For Hollywood today, you've got a lot of power. You've also made a lot of money for a lot of people. You have power in the industry. You wouldn't argue with that.
Okay, all right, fair.
What do you intend to do with that power?
Buy lots of things for myself. I want to buy a lot of
Let me
toys.
write that down.
Buy things for yourself. You go from just being the guy getting a job to those jobs happening because you're doing them. And slowly you come to the realization that you have a responsibility with those jobs then to either, you know, to keep the bar high, to raise the bar.
George Clooney is one of life's lottery winners, a man with both good luck and good looks, but he is leaving little to chance.
Well, there's always that fear, tell me if I'm wrong about it, that a younger actor comes along, somebody thinks is better looking, has better skills, what have you. How do you see it unfolding for you?
It happens to everyone. Things change, the world changes. So I understand it. I'll go kicking and screaming, but I'll understand it. That's why you direct and that's why you produce and why you write, is to try and create these other avenues that you can keep alive, because you can't stay in front of the camera all that long.